Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. We have just returned from this holy land of Cyprus, and it looks like Petra's still very much attached to being there with this beautiful, very famous rock, Aphrodite's rock, or Petra, which means rock. Um,
Yeah,
so it was such an incredible gift to be able to be there during these turbulent times. And
my heart is still there, Anna.
pardon
Can't
me?
help it.
Your
My
heart is
heart is
still
still
there.
there.
So is mine. We'll be back soon. We've promised. Yeah.
Yeah, we will go back. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been sharing on this Facebook page some of our experiences, some of our travels, and we will continue to do so on this Facebook page as well as in the program, the Magdalene Melchizedek Teachings of Cyprus. And well, this period in human history is very, very powerful. And maybe you could talk a little bit about Pluto, how it's moved direct again this week, and the impact
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. Yeah, we spoke a lot about the astrology last years actually because it's so very specific. And while we were in Cyprus last week, we didn't realize actually being in the field what was happening, but we found out and remembered that on October 10, or actually on October 4, there was a standstill of Pluto. Pluto was moving retrograde already since a couple of months now, and it came to a standstill on October 4. And then on October 10, Pluto moved direct again. And that is, and Pluto is still moving and bringing in the energies of the so-called dictatorship degrees of Capricorn. That's where it is at the moment. And what happens there is that it brings everything to the surface, specifically in themes around power over people, big worldly structures that are ready to be enlightened, if you will. We are really waiting for an illumination and an illumination of the truth, actually, that comes to the surface in these times. And it's by no surprise, in a way, that the world has witnessed again atrocities in this case, in Israel, Palestine last week, still continuing as we speak. And we know that the current situation is very tense, to say the least. And yeah, to have a little bit, many people have asked us what to do because there is
Yeah.
this feeling, yeah, of powerlessness, of I'm so far away. What is it I can do? What I can contribute? And the main thing we would like to say is that it is so important to hold our center, to remain in a state of peace, of neutrality. It doesn't mean that you don't have to feel anything, but neutrality is really an inner state of peace. And that provides balance and stability also for others in your own surrounding, but also in the energetic fields. And practice an inner state of inner peace, of neutrality, and will give you a natural state to stay open to inner guidance from the higher realms, what it is that you can do. So the answer is so close inside of yourself, but it requires this little practice to stay in your own center. Yeah, that's really really critical.
It's really about practicing our sovereignty, our inner sovereignty, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
when we actually live our lives from our own center, from our own creation center, then we're living from the narrative that comes from us, actually from the one that we're putting into the world, rather than being hijacked by a narrative that's put in motion by somebody else. So
absolutely.
this is the practice. We've been practicing it for a long time. Sometimes we forget this when there are when we witness extreme violence in the world, but the practice does not change. It continues in this way. And
Absolutely.
the astrological energies of Libra that we're in are supporting us in seeing all that is not in balance, to use our inner tools for healing. And no matter how severe the outer realities are, there is, in principle, from a higher level of perception, a level of perfection in everything. It's really important to know we're in a purging period. We're in a period of detoxification. So this is not ever comfortable.
And on top of that, we're in the middle of an eclipse season. And this always adds to the intensity of our journey, as we know that at this moment, new cosmic light codes are installed in the new Earth grids, and they activate our cosmic DNA. That can be really intense. And eclipses are, in a way, very powerful winds of transformation. Change on a large scale can be expected. Decision making on ancient themes that you've been working on so long but have never really surfaced in its entirety are now possible to really come into a state of decision making. And because Libra is involved, it is also an inner call to let go of any let's say, restrictive relationships that have outdated expectations, which are not of unconditional love, because the field is rising into unconditional love only. And anything that's not of that is disappearing, is dissolving one by one. And today, specifically, on the 14th of October, it's around 8 o'clock Paris time in the evening, and the new moon, we have an annular solar eclipse in Libra where we are all invited to be in balance and to simply observe the chaos around us, seeing the deep depths without becoming a part of the narrative, without being hijacked, if you will, emotionally or mentally or whatever, into lower frequency fields. And specifically, we send out the call to all of you who are in the less tense areas of the globe to use your heart power to hold the field as high as possible. We know that we're all connected, we're all one through the one heart, and this is an act of deep service to peace that arrives ultimately in the hearts of those who are in dark and hopeless situations where the atrocities are happening. So, I mean, we wish this state for everybody, also those who live in very severe, serious circumstances. But we know that it's a difficult place to be in. It requires a very high state of calmness and peace to be able to deal with that and trust. Yet, those who are more on a distance can help so much to hold the field with love, with compassion, and send out this light to these regions that are in these severe situations at the moment. Yeah.
Struggling to move out of the paradigm of the perpetrator, victim, and savior, so that we can finally move into this neutral inner space of divine creation. That's really where we are, in this transition period. So regarding this eclipse season, maybe you want to talk about that a little bit more, Petra?
Yeah, because I mean, eclipses are felt longer than the moment they occur, but of course, when they occur, they're usually on their peak. And we're now October 14 as we record this video. And we know that the sun moves into Scorpio on the 24th of October. And, Pluto is ruling Scorpio. So that means that specific energy is also available there again. And on the 28th of October, we have the full moon in Taurus, and then we have a partial lunar eclipse. So this whole period is really on a peak of transformation and ready to surface anything that needs to surface that we've been waiting for so long. And Taurus energy always affects home, land, agriculture, Gaia, but also financial structures, financial issues. So we can expect some shifts in these areas as well. So you may experience, and I say you may, it doesn't have to be, but you may experience this time to be more challenging. Yet remember, you are fully equipped to navigate these times with your multidimensional self. I mean, we've been practicing this for eons. So it's now the time to bring it forth and to really act on it and to live it. Because we know we are creative beings with infinite possibilities. So no matter what the outer circumstances is, no matter what the process is where Gaia is in with humanity, we hold ground and we stay firm. And that's what we do through practice. Yeah.
And we will come back later on this week with another live about the multidimensional self to talk more about this, because that's actually what is becoming normalized for all of us who have been doing spiritual work now for decades. You know what we're talking about, and we do have infinite possibilities, but we need to tend to those, to the space from which they emerge in the quietness and stillness of our inner being without distraction. So it may seem contradictory in these times, but we recommend that you take good care of yourself in your daily life, to nourish yourself with softness in a peaceful, harmonious space. So you are and you remain in an empowered state under all circumstances. And in this state of resonance, you are in the best position to be of service to the enlightenment of humanity. So to be in compassion rather than in a empathic field where you, in a way, go into a lower frequency of vibration in order to be at one with somebody who is suffering. This is sort of a way of being that we're moving out of. We're moving into compassion to see what is happening, to understand it, and know that each person within their circumstance has the power to move out of their circumstance into a better circumstance. And we hold that field of empowerment and knowingness that there is a huge power there in each and every one of us to move out of a circumstance of victimhood, of being a perpetrator, of being a savior. It's that time is over. So let's hold the field together, really knowing we, each of us, have this enormous power of change within ourselves, and things can change absolutely rapidly.
Yeah, and hearing you say this, I feel it's so important that we hold the field for those who are in these circumstances, who have no idea how to come out of this. So, but we talk about quantum fields here, right? We're talking about the energetic fields, the light fields, in which everything starts. Everything starts from there, and then it becomes reality. So, working in those fields, also for our fellow human family that's around the globe in all kinds of needs. If we can do the practice, because that is our role that we've taken on, then all those beings who have no idea how to get out of a situation will benefit from that. So, and it has to start with one person actually. So if one starts, the second starts, the third starts, and it goes on and on and on, and then it starts amplifying. So that is what we can do from the greatest heart of humanity and the greatest field of compassion, to work in the quantum fields. And because that is where the power is at the moment. And these are not in the outer circumstances. And there's many, thank God, who are helping also in the outer circumstances to support people in need. But in our specific tradition here, and the work we've taken on, is to empower you to really go inside and find the strength there to work with the field and to change the field from there.
Yeah.
And we've been connecting a lot, and that's where this visual is from, with the energies of Aphrodite, because the place you see behind me is the rock of Aphrodite, where she's been in full connection with the waters. There's many stories around it, but we feel that it's so critical that we connect with the soft energies in our heart of Aphrodite, of Venus, of the goddess, of Kuan Yin, of Mary. There are so many who hold this energy, and we need that specifically now. All these energies of the Divine Mother, to bring it into the world for healing, for trust, and for an anchoring also in Gaia, because these energies are connected to Gaia like no one else. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all contributing to this transition into one human family. I mean, we are all one human family that has lived in the illusion of separation. So we are united in the one heart, even when we don't understand that we are. And we are all in the process of transforming the dross of our inheritance in order to re-vibrate into the Sophia Christ consciousness and to live this reality on earth. So the purging is really a transformation process. And in these times, all that is not of oneness and of light and love will surface to be seen and transmuted. It can be no other way. So, but knowing that this is happening maybe with certain parts of humanity more intensely than others, those that are not in the intensity and the current intensity of a wave of this purification can support those that are at the epicenter of the purging process. So that's what we're really encouraging and inviting each and every one of you to do. We know that our resonance influences the collective of humanity. And the more we're in the resonance of oneness, the more the collective field will pick up on this resonance of the law of one. So holding this resonance of oneness will support the anchoring of this field. And those who are still hijacked by the illusion of the lower mind, by the illusion of separation, will absolutely benefit from this resonant field, which is anchored in the true nature of reality and oneness.
Yeah, I mean, in this resonance, we surpass in the state of separation, and we arrive in this deep knowing that we are all one, and that anything we do to hurt another actually hurts ourselves. In these realms, there's no place for hate. There is only place for love, because that's the only life-giving force. So we've thought about what is it that we can maybe support you with, and practically speaking, we invite you, as we always do, but maybe now in these times even more, because we're so much affected by the fields at the moment, to do your daily work of meditation, your service of meditation, your practice, and that starts with scanning your inner fields deeply and work with the energies that show themselves, whatever they may be. This requires time, silence, dedication, and the effect is just enormous, because when we start working with these inner fields, we know that we create peace on earth. And then when we have scanned our inner fields deeply, seen what is showing up, then allow your inner divine guidance to show you what is. And what is what you are asked to pay attention to. And then follow the guidance of your heart when you work with the material that appears in the inner planes. And again, stay always neutral in all circumstances. Stay in the field of the observer in a way. When you find it hard to be neutral, then go into a deeper examination and observe what is there for you to learn, to do, and to transmute. All these kind of elements. And observe if at any moment you're pulled into fear, in anger, despair, or any other disempowering emotion, then work right away with the emotions and these thought forms in the moment as they arise. Observe them, watch them, see what the information is that comes with it, and use all your tools and practices to change it, to transform it.
Yeah, I'd like to say something about this, because I think it's important to say that when we are curious about the emotions, then we also lose part of the emotional charge. We strengthen the part of ourselves that is the observer. So whatever the emotion may be, sometimes we judge ourselves for having an emotion. Actually, a lot of people say that they judge themselves for having certain emotions because they don't feel that they're acceptable. But if instead of judging an emotion, we're just curious where it's coming from, why is it appearing, what is it saying, what information is it giving us, then we can really get much more clear on how our system is operating. And it's also really something to say, because very often I've found that my emotions are coming from outer sources. I'm picking up on frequencies of vibrations of emotions that are coming from outside. So that was a big learning curve for me. And so for that reason, we say be very careful what information from the outside world you watch, or allow or take into your system, because a lot of the information coming in through normal sources of media is very, very charged. It's absolutely not neutral. So navigate this with the greatest wisdom and observation. Choose the media channels that are known for their integrity, for truth, rather than channels that are highly compromised. And hopefully you know how to tell the difference. Decide to stay in your own higher vibration, and when you observe that you're being pulled down. So this also takes discernment. It's really a process of discernment to okay, I'm in a higher vibration, and now, oh, I don't feel like I'm feeling so good now. And just to recognize that, just to breathe into that and say, okay, I make the choice then now to step up into something higher, or release that which is pulling me down, in order so that I can vibrate in this higher vibration. And then, well, we start all over again.
Yeah. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Every day, again and again. Maybe every minute, again and again.
Yeah. That's more like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we can also say something to bring into the awareness the power of prayer, the power also of collective meditation, to be together in a specific moment, specific space. We really invite you to use the power of prayer or heart intentions to bring all of humanity into a state of oneness. The power of prayer is one of the strongest tools to support our human family who live in deep fear, who suffer, who are drawn into the narratives of war as the only option out, and those who lost their trust in an outcome for peace, who lost their connection to their creator being and to their power, the inner power. And in these prayer circles or collective meditations, we send them our deep, unconditional love and our soft, loving, compassionate energies and the golden light, the alchemical golden light, with the prayer that unconditional love heals all, and it will always open the armor of protection, the armor of collective illusion and lost hope. And we really need love to bring the light of creation into the field of all humans, and especially, of course, those in need, in war zones, in places of real disasters, natural disasters, anything that brings devastation, and those in our surrounding who need our loving support. Yeah. So it's not only to those greater regions that are in the news in a specific time, but this is also, of course, needed in our own local community. And I mean, this can be done in physical realities when we meet each other, and or in the energetic field and on a soul level, because we work in the quantum field. So in a way, it doesn't matter. But we live in all kinds of circumstances. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are moving through this very powerful astrological portal that needs all of us to be really present, very aware. We've offered a global peace meditation last week that is open still to be used for circles in your communities, because we've had many requests about that. So we've decided with our team to keep this meditation available to you to use in these times. You can access it, I think, through the link in this post. Is it?
Yeah.
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 So you're welcome to use that, or of course, use your own practices. Let's keep at this from the space of the heart, from a space of unity, knowing that we are coming out of a very, very, very long period of forgetting, and we are only now entering into a period of time of remembering our sovereignty and remembering our power of creation, which is enormous. And we'll be back this week to talk more about that. So
And I also, what I would like to say, because I can feel when we talk that there's, for some people, there's a need for healing. And for those who may not know actually what we are doing, but we are on a regular base we're doing Sophia Christ healing circles. And when we are recording this video, there's one coming Monday, October 16, which will be in this field. It's going to be very strong. So also for that, we have the link in the post. If you feel there's themes around what we talk about that need healing, you're very much welcome. And we do this several times, also a month, so you can also come in a later moment by going through our website. And there's on the website there's a section that's called Temple, and under the temple you can find Sophia Christ Healing Circles. So you're very welcome if you're in need of healing to join us. This is our service. Also to the process of peace. So
And if
thank you
you,
so much.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was going to say, last thing, if you feel that there's anyone you know that can benefit from this sharing, from this live, then please share this video in your communities so that we can stay strong together in the light in this field of unconditional love as this purging process continues and will continue, and that we amplify this field of love and light. So thank you very much for being with us today. Have a wonderful day. Namaste. Wonderful new moon day.
Namaste.